Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.wordpress.com. Thank you for joining me again today for another card making video. And today we're featuring the So Much Love stamp set. So this is one that you can get for free at the moment when you join Stampin' Up, and this will be included in your starter kit completely free, along with the Queen Anne's lace. I used this yesterday, so you want to catch that video, do check it out. But today we're going to use this one for a much more simple and sort of vintage style card, featuring one of these images. So something really nice and clean and simple. This is the sample I've made already. So we've got the neutrals cardstock with Sahara sand and soft suede and some champagne rhinestones there, and then the matching inks as well. And I don't know whether, see if we can catch the so what I've done is I've painted over the flowers with Wink of Stella. Let's see if I can get it to catch in the light. There we are, twinkling away, just to add some really subtle sparkle to this. So very much more muted design, but nonetheless still really pretty. Okay, so let's bring in some things and just show you how I made this. It's really nice and easy, reasonably simple for beginner crafters. So if you are considering getting a starter kit and having these products, this is something you could probably make from the get-go. So this is a soft suede card base. Okay, so to make a card base, you cut the A4 sheet in half along the length at 4 1/8 of an inch and score at 5 7/8 of an inch. That's this card base. The card layer I have done in Sahara sand, and this measures 4 inches across by 5 3/4 high. So that goes on and gives me a nice narrow border there. And then we've got a little bit smaller again, so this is 3 7/8 of an inch. This is very vanilla. 3 7/8 of an inch by 5 5/8. Yeah, 5 5/8. Okay, so 1/8 smaller all along, and you get these nice narrow borders. If you want a larger border, then you just shave a little bit more off. Okay, so but this gives you a nice skinny border, just to have those colours peeking through in your layers. Okay, so I chose vanilla to give that more vintage vibe. I'm just going to bring in some scrap paper because we're going to stamp off the edge. And the sample was stamped in Sahara sand in the first instance, so I'm going to switch it up and we're going to go with the soft suede this time. So we're going to get a slightly different look, and I just wanted to show you how the different inks look and play together. This is the image that we're using, this large flower. So this is a cling mount stamp, so it's cut on red rubber but has this grey foam on the back which acts as a cushion. In the stamp case there are stickers that you can add to that foam which make it even more sticky, but you can see that it's not actually necessary, but it does help some with lining up the image if that's what you want to do. It's not something that I find necessary. And I've opened the ink pad, and I'm I'm not pressing hard on the ink pad, just gently tapping that image over the ink pad, and you'll be able to see that the raised portions have got that wet ink over the top of them. On the original sample I started in the opposite direction, so we're just going to twizzle it round, do a different orientation. So I'm just putting that stamp down and giving it firm pressure. I'm not wiggling it about or rocking it, I'm just pressing it down in the middle all over to get a firm impression, and lift straight up, don't slide it about, and you get a really nice crisp image. Let's repeat that. Light tapping. Now I'm having to move it around because the stamp is a little larger than the ink pad itself, and this time this one's going to go up here somewhere, maybe there. Give it a bit of a turn and a twist. So going straight down, firm pressure over the entire surface. Doesn't need a lot of pressure, and there we are. We have a nice crisp stamped image. Okay, so I say I did that sort of this way around, and I've switched it around a bit so that the flowers are in a different orientation, just to give it a little bit of a different look. I'm going to close the ink pad. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is just brush over this with some ink of Stella. So this is a glitter brush pen. You can gently squeeze it to make more of the glitter come down the pen. Just do it nice and gently, and we can rub over that image and apply the glitter in a non-mess way. And you may be able to see just slightly, I'll bring it up to the camera in a moment, the moisture in the pen actually drags out some of the colour from the line art and just gives it that sort of sepia look, if you like. Just a little hint of colour being added to that as we add the glitter over the top. Okay, I wouldn't say I'm being particularly precise about it, just brushing it over those leaves and petals. Like so. Like I say, this pen is lovely, as it just gives the image just a lovely sheen of glitter without having to get a whole load of wet glue out and sprinkling loose glitter everywhere. And if you've ever used glitter in that way, you'll know that you'll be finding it all over your desk for days and weeks afterwards. So this is a really nice way to get that glitter look without the mess. Just going to squeeze a little bit more of the fluid down into the barrel of that. Just gently. Yeah. Gone slightly outside the line there, but it won't matter. I wasn't being particularly careful with it. Do remember, if you are watching these videos for the first time, please do like and subscribe. I try and post at least 4 videos a week, so if you're interested in card making and want to see ideas, I just come on and make stuff and chat to you guys. Always happy to answer any questions. So, there we are. Beautiful. See that lovely sheen that gives to that image. That's just going to take a couple of seconds to dry. So I'm just going to leave that to one side just for a minute, just so that it can do that. It won't take long. Just just a little bit. So I'm going to adhere this layer to my card base. I'm just going to flip that over, and I'm going to use this Stampin' Seal tape runner. Okay, and this applies a dry tape adhesive to the back of the cardstock, again in a very no mess fashion. It's quite strong, so I haven't laid it all over, just put a few strips of it mainly around the edge, a little bit in the middle just to stop it bowing. I like to line up 3 edges, and then when I'm happy, press it down. Give that another crease. I'm sure, so this will be dry enough now to apply the same adhesive to the back of this. So I tend to do 3 stripes, top, middle and bottom, and a couple down the sides. And again we will turn that over, and the same again. I'm just going to line it up with that Sahara sand layer, get that nice even border with the top end and the bottom, and then once I'm satisfied that the top edge is straight, I'm going to let that fall down and press that into place. You can use a bone folder just to make sure that's down and flat. And that's pretty much the basis of our card. Okay, so that's where we're up to. So we need to stamp a sentiment and add the embellishments next. The sentiment I already have mounted on a block, which I have put down, and I can't see, there it is. So I've already mounted this, so it's the same stamp set, so it's the same red rubber on the same grey foam. And I actually use the grid paper to make sure that the stamp is lined up. So I put it face down, put the block on top, stamp it on some scrap, and if it's not quite straight, I straighten it up, make sure it's all level. And I'm going to take this little scrap of Very Vanilla, and because we did the line art in the soft suede, I'm going to switch to the Sahara sand. Again, light tapping. This is a smaller stamp, so it's just a bit of light tapping. One, just like that. You don't want to press into the ink pad, you will damage it. So I'm lining the block up with the edge of the cardstock, and then I know that that image is going to be straight on there. And what we're going to do is use our paper trimmer to trim that down. Fantastic trimmer that Stampin' Up supply. Let's try and not get the glare on that top bit. Okay. So I'm just going to lift that up to try and reduce the glare a little bit. But there's really nice clear markings along the top in both metric and imperial measurements. Okay, so it goes all the way up to 6 and a bit inches, so more than enough to cut and score the card bases, which is, I now use this all the time for that. There's an extendable arm which comes out like so, and that goes all the way up to 17 inches, and that can just go away. You can hang it up if you want to from here. This clear bar snaps shut, so you can press it down and then snap it shut, and that holds your cardstock very firmly in place. There is a ruler down the side as well. That is in metric, but there is that is an imperial down there in inches, but a metric version is available in the catalogue, and this just, you can just get this, pull this off at the hinges and replace it. There are 2 blades. The dark blade cuts, and the score blade, the light grey blade scores. So this is how I do all my card basing. I tend to leave the grey one up there out the way until I need it, and cut up against this lovely book bar. There is a similar book bar at the bottom to keep everything nice and straight. Really, really fantastic trimmer. There's rubber feet on the bottom, so it's really nice and secure. It's really, really great. The blade has a little arrow on it, which is the So that to me tells me that I've put this in for the first time. So it's an arrow blade. It comes out at the bottom here and just sort of wiggles out of here. It's an arrow blade. Okay, so because I cut up all the time, that part of the blade will blunt first. So when I feel like I need to change my blade, I actually just take it out of the track and switch it round. So I'm then cutting with the other side of that blade. Okay, so markings on this side of the track as well. So this is your cutting track. This is exactly where that's going to cut. And there's a little groove where the blade runs down. So I'm lining up my sentiment with that edge, pressing the cardstock against the top where it will be straight, cutting up, moving that away, really nice crisp cut, and then I'm lining it up on this side in the same fashion, and I get a nice straight strip with my sentiment on there. Okay. Just going to take a little bit off the end there. I'm just going to eyeball it. Oh no, hang on, I've got a different orientation on this one. I almost forgot. So I'm going to cut this away at an angle just because it's easy and gives it a bit of interest without being complicated. And then it's going to sit somewhere around here. Just want to approximate how much I want to cut off. It's about 3/8 of an inch. Cut that off. So my favourite adhesive are Stampin' Dimensionals. I love Dimensionals. And these are little foam hexagons that add dimension to your project, and they come off the sheet. You get 100 on a sheet, and each packet has 3 sheets, and they are brilliant. So they just go onto the back of your piece of cardstock like so. Take off the release paper, which is very easy to take off. And then that will adhere to this cardstock superbly, but also adding just a little bit of height to it so it stands out from the base without necessarily being a different colour. Okay, let's bring in the champagne rhinestones. So this is the champagne version. We do also carry clear ones, so those are the clear. Okay. The clear ones can be coloured with alcohol based markers, and I'm going to use the take your pick tool and use the pokey tool at the end, the paper piercing tool, to lift up some of these little gems, rhinestones, and position them on the card. So odd numbers generally look best, and you like them to sort of lead into your project. So I think we're going to put this one there, and we'll do our little one somewhere here, and we'll have one of the largest ones there. Okay, so just 3 little jewels just to bring that all together. And there we have 2 cards, same products used in a couple of different ways just to get a slightly different look. Up to you which you prefer, which way round. You could have we could have done some deeper layers on there to make those background layers stand out a little bit more, but either way, really nice. I haven't added any ribbon either. You could add ribbon or anything like that to it. And then we've got that beautiful sparkle as well, and how that the Wink of Stella pen has just pulled out just a teensy bit of that colour, so it stands out a little bit. Really pretty. thanks for joining me today. I hope you've found that useful. Please do like and subscribe, and all the products will be listed in the corresponding blog post, and quick links to the stamp set will be in the description too. Take care everybody, hope to see you again soon. Okay, bye.